I have a difficult task to have concluding remarks on, I think, this very rich, two rich panels and our conversation with our artist Maya here. So let me just try to pick a few points and maybe put some questions. So I think what we have seen, and you have just said it, Sigal, we had both. We had optimism, we had pessimism on TJ processes in Israel and OPT. So our audience is probably divided. Our panelists were somehow divided, but I would like to thank Pablo again for, in a way, giving us some optimism, showing us how quickly history can change, also mentioning the many head of states prosecution, which no one thought would happen. And they did happen. So so I think we shouldn't lose that idea. Now, the second point I'm taking away is the awareness of the context. And again, Pablo, you said, there is a difference between transition from authoritarianism as well as transitional justice after a civil war. The problem that we have here, and that makes the problem so complex, is that we have two governments, which we surely cannot call fully democratic. And in addition, we have a war and a very long historical conflict. So I take your point that we need to think beyond what we have seen in transitional justice contexts and processes and be inventive. And again, that's an invitation to the panelists as well as the audience. The third point I quickly would like to mention are the external actors. Ruti Title has spoken about the courts. I think universal jurisdiction, and she also mentioned that, is very important to raise awareness. And of course, the diaspora is very important. And the coming together of the diaspora is very important. And maybe that's seeding back into the state. So here, my question is, even if a government, for example, does not acknowledge wrongs, this acknowledgement can come from other actors as well, at least as a first step and a step to build on. And the acknowledgement also of historical wrongs. I think the civil society has been wonderfully mentioned, especially in the second panel as well. We have probably all read or seen the opinion polling also on Gaza within the Israeli society. Let's take those 15% and say, okay, there's at least some water in the glass, and we need to see how we fill it. I want to draw the attention also to the Yugoslav wars, the actors who were very important there were the women, the mothers, Maya, because I think the mothers have a very important role to understand, as you show so wonderfully in your play, to be able to have empathy for the other side, because we all know so well those sentiments, which can be both. It can be rage, but we also understand. And I think the understanding of the other's position is just so very important. The other, I think, external actors, and this is what we see currently playing out, that many EU countries, but also Canada, has shifted in its approach. I think that does put external pressure on Israel. And I think if it's going on as it is, this pressure will mount for sure. You have seen this with sanctions concerning the settlers, violent settlers, but there will also be, I suppose, other sort of sanctions, and that might exert some pressure as well. The last thing I want to say is, again, picking something up Pablo has said, is the focus on victims' justice, and starting in a way that process, we can't say TJ is starting at that certain point of time if it's officially there. It starts before. It starts before when we talk to each other. It starts before when we collect evidence. It starts before, as Shiri has said, when you listen, when you acknowledge, and you acknowledge the victims. So I think that is important. So I second Sigal in saying that we hope that this TJ seminar webinar on is a start of a conversation which we cannot afford not to have. And with this, I again would like to thank you all for joining us. Thank the audience. Thank you for your questions. We have noted them well, but as you know, we are already 15 minutes over time. So we hope that we continue this conversation also bilaterally and in a group. And with this, I wish a very, very good night's sleep to Sherry and to all the others, a nice rest of the day. And thanks again for joining, and many thanks again also to Sigal.
Thank you.
Thanks and congratulations to all.